Today, the summer has finally arrived. How are you all doing this lovely Friday morning? It's very bright and sunny here today. It's quite warm out. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful. And please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. It seems to be live, but I'm not too sure. Drop me a comment, let me know everything's okay, let me know you're okay, let me know what you are making today. I'm going to be showing you how to make a lovely little bracelet. We've got some gorgeous little metal kind of swirl connectors. They're really, really pretty. I'm just going to pop a little crystal in between each one, and they're very bright. There's lots of colours to choose from. You can mix the colours up if you want to get more than one kit. Each kit, you're going to be able to make 2 bracelets, and we have a lovely offer on for you as well today. The offer should last, I think, a week, so that would be lovely. I'm going to just there you are in the comments. So I'm going to say hello to Royati. Hello to you, my love. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning to Jan. Camille is in as well. Hello to you. She can see and hear me fine, so that's very good. Jan says, good morning, Natalie from a fair Sudbury. Leslie Joy is in as well. Rachel's in from a sunny Barrow. And Lucy's saying good morning as well. So I'm not going to keep you very long today. It's going to be a really quick make. We are going to be turning pins. If you want to, you can use your looper tool with this. But it's very, very straightforward. I think they'd make lovely earrings as well. And given the fact that it's going to be quite a quick make, I think I might make myself a little pair of earrings with some pins and some ear hooks that I've got in my stash as well. Good morning to Janice. She says, good morning, everyone, from a sunny Swansea. Jan says she's loving the bracelets and she's already ordered hers. Thank you so much, Jan. Good morning to Sue, who's in a sunny Harrogate, and Jackie's in as well. It seems to me that the sunshine hopefully is out everywhere, which it's about time, isn't it? Because it's been rubbish, I think, since the children broke up from school for their summer holidays. I think we've had like maybe a couple of dry days and it's been miserable. Good morning to Sheila, who's saying hello to all you fellow beaders. Mandy's in as well. She says, good morning, Natalie and everyone. Hope you're okay. It's sunny in the Wirral. And Anita is in as well, who's watching from Johannesburg in South Africa. So thank you for joining me wherever you're watching from. I'm going to take you over to the website now. I'm going to show you these lovely bracelets and we're going to get making. So if you aren't sure where to find your kits, we're going to head over to totallybeads.co.uk. You should know this by now. And I'm going to head straight into the video tutorials. You can access this in the Learn to Make Jewellery category. You can see here at the top as well. And you can see all the lovely things that we've been recently making. So today is Larissa Swirl bracelet. And you can see I've got lots of colours for you to choose from. I've got a gorgeous green, a happy hematite, a pretty pink, a pretty purple AB, a rambunctious red, and a special sparkly sapphire. So we've got lots of lovely colours for you to choose from. They are £5.99 at the moment. This should be discounted to £5.99 for the week, and the usual price will then go back up to £6.49, and you're making 2 bracelets in each of your kit. I've made my bracelets, I haven't got my ruler to hand, but I've made them to an average size. It's too big for me, so you probably have a couple of connectors and lots of your lovely little bicones left. If you did want to make a pair of earrings or something else with it as well, you can adjust the size of this very, very easily. If you didn't want to add any more in and you wanted to make it longer, then you could also attach them with the jump ring, which will give you that extra little bit of length. I've been attaching my pieces in between, just directly onto those links. So I'm going to take you into the kit so you can see what you're getting. So this is the green one. It's really, really lovely. It's a bit like a peridot colour, very, very pretty green. You're getting your bead frames, which are these lovely swirl connectors here. You're getting 6mm crystal bicones, your toggle clasp, which I'll show you is also very lovely. It's kind of swirled and looks beautiful against the swirl pattern on those frames. You'll get in your eye pins and your jump rings, and that is all you need. If you want to have a little look exactly what it is you're getting in your kit, you can scroll down here and you can see all the dimensions of all your little bits and bobs. So your antique silver metal bead frames, which have got that gorgeous swirl on both sides. The pattern does slightly move, so if you want to, you can alternate it. You can keep your swirl moving in the same direction, entirely up to you. They are nickel free, as is the toggle clasp, and all of the findings will be in rhodium today to match that lovely antique silver look on your metal swirls. So you're getting your 30mm eye pins as well. We only need small little eye pins, just enough. That's going to make a loop on either side to connect these frames. And of course, you're getting your gorgeous premium crystals as well. These are your green. So that is what is in your gorgeous green kit. 2 bracelets being made for just £5.99. We've also got the Larissa in hematite, or hematite, however you choose to pronounce it. This is really, really beautiful. It's like a very dark blue, if anything. If I was going to put colour on it, I would say it's somewhere between black, excuse me, black and blue. Beautiful colour. Again, you're getting all of those findings in your kit and those gorgeous bead frames as well. And it sits nice and comfortably on your wrist. It's got a nice weight to it, but it's not too heavy. We've also got the pink for you, a very light, pretty, sparkly pink, just to add that colour through it. As I say, if you wanted to mix those colours up, you could get a couple of kits if you wanted to. I think the red and the blue look gorgeous with the green. They all look lovely together. It depends what colour combination you'd like to go for. I think the pink and the green would look very, very summery, possibly adding in that lilac as well. Again, I'll scroll down so you can see what bicones that you've got there, but all of your other materials in each kit is the same. We've got your purple AB, so extra sparkly, very, very pretty. Don't think, because you've got that gorgeous facet on there, it really does catch the light, and obviously my photographs aren't picking that up quite as well, so I will show you them down on the mat so you can see how they look. So this one here is your gorgeous purple AB. We've also got the red, which I really, really like. I don't often wear red jewellery, but that's gorgeous. So I should have probably demoed with that one today and kept myself a little extra. So again, you're getting all your bead frames in there, your crystal bicones, your toggle clasp, your little 30mm rhodium eye pins, and your 6mm jump rings as well. And you've got that lovely swirl antique silver toggle clasp, which, as I say, I think it really does look lovely with the antique silver bead frame as well. And there you go, that very, very gorgeous red premium crystal bicone in 6mm. You could use a smaller bicone if you wanted for that. You just have to make sure it's going to fit in the centre of that lovely swirl. Really simple jewellery, but when you've got beautiful components, you can make a very lovely look. I love the swirls on these connectors. I called it Larissa. I don't know whether it meant something to do with the ocean or waves. I can't quite remember now, but I think it's just got that lovely pattern on it. I think it's really, really pretty, and I will show you them down on the mat as well so you can see how they look. This one here is your gorgeous sapphire blue. I absolutely love the colour of this blue. If I scroll down there, you can see those crystal bicones for you. So not much needed in your kits today, so we've been able to give you a really good offer, just £5.99, making up 2 gorgeous bracelets. Let me know in the comments which one do you like the most, and I will see if I have missed anything. I've got quite a few now, so let me just catch up. Rachel says, sadly, the weather has brought the flying ants back. Yeah, it was flying ant day here yesterday. Was it yesterday? The day before, I can't remember what day are we on. Are we Friday still? And there were a few out. Camille says, I've finally used up my Oriental beads. No more photos to bore you all. We've seen your photos. They haven't been boring. They've been absolutely beautiful, Camille. I really liked, we did that kind of knotted effect with the metallic thread a couple of weeks back, and I noticed you've made a beautiful necklace using that technique. It looked really, really lovely. It just goes to show how many beads you usually get on a strand as well, because you've made so many beautiful pieces of jewellery. Hello to Carol, how are you doing? Lucy shared the link for you here. So you can click on this link and it will take you straight through to today's make, which is the Larissa Swirl bracelet. She also says, ooh, these look nice. I've not used these connectors, I don't think, before. Pretty sure I haven't. I don't know if they're new. They're new to me anyway. Elaine says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. I can't stay off to the dentist. We'll catch up later. Good luck at the dentist. Hope it goes well for you. Hi to Mary. Jan says she couldn't decide, so she's ordered all of them. Jan, yay! Well, mix your colours up. You're getting enough for two in each kit, so you could make one with all one colour, and then you could, you've got plenty left over if you want to do a mix with them as well. Gosh, you're going to have lots of lovely bracelets. Please share in the handmade group, Jan, if you can, so I can see your lovely makes. Camille says she likes the swirl beads. Mary says she loves the look of these and she's ordered hers as well. What colour did you go for, Mary? Hello to Amelia. She's saying hello to everybody. Hello to Facebook user. Sheila says, gorgeous kits. Thank you so much, Sheila. Hi, Mina. She says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. Latest chatting and sorting out fairs. Mina is the busiest bee you'll ever see. She's got craft fairs and fates like every week. And it's obviously working for her. I know she gets a lot of it, gorgeous things off Totally Beads, and she puts our kits together and I think they sell well, and she also does her own kind of bead stringing, elasticated bracelets, and they're all very, very beautiful. I love the one you did with the miracle beads with all the different colours running through it. I thought that looked lovely. Camille said the red is very striking. It is indeed. Hello to Mummy. She says, good morning, Natalie. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Kath. How are you doing? Joanne says, good morning, Natalie. Good morning to all. The sun is out and shining and the clouds are floating by. Sharon said you could use the red and green together and make it seasonal. You absolutely could. Oh, do I do a mix? I don't know. I'll show you them down on the mat anyway now, and you can see what they look like together. Hello to Lorena. How are you doing? She says, hello, Natalie. Nice to catch you live. She's got toothpicks holding my eyelids open. It's 2 a.m. in California, USA, and she's got clouds and humidity here. Well, good night or good very early morning to you, Lorena. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. Angela's in. Anna's in as well. Iris, good morning to you. And Jan says they're just gorgeous. So I'm going to take you down on the mat and I'm going to show you these beautiful colours. They're just so lovely, and I don't think they're going to be showing up as gorgeous as they are today, because as sunny as it is outside, it is quite dark in the room. So I'm just going to give you a little look. This is the pink. So it's a really soft, beautiful colour. You've got that swirl on both sides, and I'll show you what I mean about them running in different directions. So I have put mine together so that this kind of, it looks a bit like a crescent moon shape with that kind of hammered dappled effect. There you go. Is facing the same way. They do twist round, but you could pop them on the other way round if you wanted to kind of get them facing each other. So you can see they've got that pattern on both sides. Really, really pretty, lovely little pins. Mina says purple and pink would look good, or red and green. So I'll show you those purple AB ones as well if you wanted to mix that with the pink. We've also got this gorgeous little swirl toggle clasp, which I think just kind of mirrors that shape really nicely. It's nice and large, easy to put on. As you can see, I'm just popping that T-bar through that circle, and I do think they would look really gorgeous together. If I can hold this up again, I really want you to see the colour and shimmer of that AB finish, which isn't showing. There's like It's just gorgeous. Really, really sparkly, but they're all, you've got these bicones, they're all going to be faceted. So you've got that lovely shape, which means the light will just cut them really nice. The cuts on those facets will just bounce the light off really nicely. Thank you, Angela, that's very kind of you. I've gone for a little bit of summer shimmer. And this one is your hematite. So again, it's a very dark colour, but it's not black. In some lights, it almost looks like a very deep blue. It's beautiful, and I think it looks gorgeous against that metal. Really, really pretty. And then I think these ones are my particular favourite. You can see these are the red and the green, which look gorgeous together. And then that sapphire blue as well. I think the red and the blue look gorgeous. I think the three of those would look particularly lovely together. Really, really pretty. Lorena says, I'm going to order them. I've got a craft show September 16th and I have many Totally Beads kits to show off at the craft show. Good luck to you, Lorena. I hope it goes really well and you enjoy yourself. My little tip, no, Lorena, I don't think they will tarnish easily. They've got that kind of antiqued metal silver look to them. So they are shiny, but you've got that kind of deeper colour, so it looks like it's kind of been oxidized and then polished back. I don't think they will tarnish too easily. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest that you wear any metals when you're, doing the dishes, taking a shower. Everything will oxidize more, but you should be able to just polish that back anyway with a little cloth. My tip for you would be to, if you're doing a fair, take one of your kits with you and make while you're at your stall, because that will draw people in. People will be interested. Sometimes people can be a little bit shy to come over in case you're going to do the hard sell, but it gives them something to watch. It draws interest to your stall, but also it lets people know that the jewellery you are making is handmade and it is handcrafted, and it's not just bought off a website and then you're selling it on. So it gives that little bit of a kind of personalized service. And it is a personalized service because someone could see these bracelets and go, oh, that's lovely, but it's a little bit too big or it's a little bit too small for me. And then you can say, well, that's no problem. I can take a link out, and it is really easy. All you would need to do is just open up that loop or add another one on, and you've got that extra length on that adjustable size. Mina says, tip, always have findings with you. You can change your clasp if it does not fit. I mostly use lobster clasps. Exactly, Mina. You can offer that personalised service there and then for what's going to take you seconds. And you might have a family come over, you might have a mum and a daughter come over, and they might think, wouldn't it be lovely if we could have matching ones, but they're not gonna fit us both, and then you can change that there and then. Iris says she really loves the hematite, but she loves them all. So they are our colour options for you today. I will say, I did find when putting them together, I don't know why, because all the crystal bicones are the same size, but some I found a little bit more tricky to get into the centre than the others. And honestly, the ones I found a little bit more tricky was the hematite and the lilac, and I don't know why, because they are the same size. So I would say you're getting a long string of these. Have a little play about. You might find one is, I don't know, slightly, like not even a millimetre shorter than the other, but you can see that one doesn't move. It's in the centre and it's lovely, but it's wedged in, whereas this one, if I show you, say the green, there is a little bit of movement on that bicone in between, but they're all very, very lovely, and I think they're very easy to make. So in terms of length, I will get my ruler out just to show you the length of these ones, so you can adjust that if you need to. So I've put 8 connectors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on my bracelet. You're getting enough to make 2 in your kits. I haven't connected them with jump rings. I've connected them directly together, and I've just added a jump ring on to the end of that toggle. You can add your toggle again directly to this if you wanted to, but I like to have a little bit more of that kind of movement with those. And that is coming up at 8 inches. So if you want an 8-inch bracelet, I would suggest you use 8 of your lovely swirl connectors. If you want it a little bit smaller, you can just take one out and you know, you can change that length to whatever you want to. Mina also says an extension chain also helps. You could, if you're using a lobster clasp, then you can always add an extension chain. With this, you could add a safety chain to it, but we've got the toggle clasp there for you, so it's not as adjustable. It could still be done, but it's just going to fasten on there for you nice and easy. So let's get making. I have put some to the side here, and I thought, you know, if you wanted to, you could mix up those colours and do kind of like a little rainbow effect. I think that would look really lovely as well. If you were feeling patriotic, you could just put your, you know, certain colours together. If you wanted something a little bit festive, as someone said, the red and the green does really look lovely together as well. Okay, so I'll do the blue ones, I think. And then I might do I might do the green for a pair of earrings if we've got time. So I'm just going to use my 8 swirls. And I can put these together anyway. I don't have to worry about the order in which I'm kind of making these. They are the same on both sides. It's just when I put them together, I might look at the direction that swirl's running. I'm going to need to take one of my lovely little pins. It's only 30 millimeters or 3 centimeters. I don't need them very, very long. I do tend to use the 50 millimeter ones, and then I'm cutting a lot off. I do try and save them so I can make like little loops and things with them, with my cut-offs. But all I'm going to do, let's give myself a little bit of space so you can see. I'm going to slide my pin up. So you'll see there's a hole that runs all the way through, like so. So I'm just going to pop my pin in slightly, and I'm going to get my crystal bicone. And I want to make sure that that hole is lined up. So I'm just going to lay it on my finger. You can hold it in between your finger and your thumb, and just get that pin to run through the crystal bicone and out the other side. So you've got that lovely, lovely movement. Iris says, I've started adding safety changes to my bracelets because I lost my favourite bracelet I made on a recent cruise and I was gutted, but I suppose it's more secure if you use a lobster clasp. I mean, I did make, was it a magnetic clasp one I made once, and that came off. So I do often find that a lobster clasp is the most secure, but I don't always find them the most pretty. And I think when you've got a swirl toggle clasp like this, you can see how that shape is kind of mirroring each other and echoing each other. And I think this just completes the bracelet. So it is personal taste. I always have lots of findings in my stash if I ever do need to change it up. Hello to Birgit. She says, hello, Natalie. Hello, all you lovely people there. Wow, Natalie, such a lovely design. Thank you so much. They're so easy to do. And I can't really take much credit for this because those swirls are doing all the work and I didn't make or design them. I've just put them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my pin now. It's coming out the top. Now, what I want is I want a loop around the same size on both sides. I would say that's about a 3 millimeter loop. What you can do is you can pop your round nose pliers into the loop that's already there, and you can either mark it with a pen or you can make a visual note about how high up the pliers you have gone, and that way when you turn the next pin, if you turn it here, it's going to be the same size. These pins are nice and small. You don't need to cut off any of the excess if you don't want to, but I am going to just cut the tiniest bit off. So I've probably cut off there, if I can hold that up and you can see, it's probably about 1 millimetre. I'm then going to come in with my round nose pliers at around that point that I looked at where it sat on the other side. And I'm just going to check that it's flush and there's nothing sticking out the other side. That way when I start to turn my pin, the whole of it will turn all the way round. And it shouldn't need straightening it up. It should just work. You will see though that my pin's twisted, so I've got one sitting one way and one sitting the other. If that's the case, hold on to your loops with a pair of pliers and just gently give it a little twist. And that should make them face the same direction. So then I'm going to just keep going with that. So really easy. You can use a looper with this as well. I will show you how to use the looper with it. So I'm just going to try and place my bicone in the center first and foremost. Line up the hole in the swirl connector with the bicone, so to make sure my pin's running all the way through and it's coming back out that hole at the top. I'm going to give it a little twist. So what's happened is I'm holding one this way and then I'm bending it back. If you want them to face the same direction, just twist that pin at the bottom so your loop is kind of facing this way round. And then when I bend it away from me, that loop will then turn to face the same way. They do spin and they do turn a little bit. You don't have to cut off your pin if you want to keep it as it is. I don't know whether I caught it there. I don't know where it went. Keep your hand over it while you cut, just to make sure nothing fires away. And I'm just going to position it there just to stop it spinning, to give myself some grip. I'm going to give it a little flick. And then I'm going to reposition my hand so I'm not putting any pressure on my wrist. I'm just using lots of little tiny motions to turn that pin all the way around and make sure it's fairly closed and looking fairly straight. If I do need to straighten it up, just going to hold over it with my pliers and just give that little turn just to make sure that it is straight. By straight, I mean that the pin is running flat and kind of parallel, and also that I've got that little I shape rather than a P shape. I'll try and make one in a P shape so I can show you how to correct that if need be. So again, all I'm doing, really straightforward, lovely little project to do. You don't have to concentrate too much on it. Just sliding that pin all the way through that bead, taking a pair of pliers to give it a little bend. I tend to bend these first before I cut. It gives me a good kind of idea of, you know, how long I need to kind of leave that pin. If I cut it beforehand, then, you know, I'm not accounting for that little bend there. So I'm at that stage. I'm not fully turning it to 90 degrees, just enough of a bend in it. I can come in just trimming off a tiny bit at the end. So I'm using the flush side of my cutters. I'm covering it over with my hand, obviously making sure it's all in position and my fingers aren't getting snipped at all, because I'm just trimming off that teeny tiny little bit, and I want to make sure it doesn't fire away. Back into my round nose pliers, keeping it nice and flush. Little twist all the way around, tiny little movements to make that little loop. So if I was to make it and it wasn't quite straight, and I have made a full loop there, so, you know, if I was trying to do it wrong, I probably wouldn't be able to master it. Things just do it as they do, don't they? Let me get a pin out so I can show you. Okay, so if I was to turn my loop, you could always do it this way and then just correct it. This is what I mean by a P shape. So it's looking more like a letter P than this where I'm saying a letter I, where that loop's sitting fully on top. If I need to, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pliers in the center of that loop and I'm just going to give it a little push to correct it and close it back over. So you can see now I've made that loop sitting in the right direction. Lorena says, I found 8mm magnetic clasps in your store. Would that work for those? You can definitely try it, Lorena. I think most clasps would work for this design. If it is a magnetic one though, just do bear in mind, these are metal findings. So you might find that it wants to try and stick to those as well. But I'm sure you could try it, Lorena. It's always worth having them in your stash anyway. Hello to Sylvia. She says, wow, gorgeous. Hi from South Australia. Hello to you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have just tuned in, we're making these lovely Larissa Swirl bracelets. Beautiful swirl connectors that I do find are really versatile. I'm just giving that a little wiggle just to make sure I'm getting that hole lined up. Because as I say, the bicone can move, and I just want to make sure it's coming out the other side. So I do think these would make really pretty earrings as well. You could still use the same with a double connector and have something dangling off the bottom, or you could use a ball pin instead. So the ball pin or a head pin, the ball pin would have a little ball tip at the end. Your head pin's got like a flat nail tip finish, which would also work really nicely. These are your eye pins, so you've got your little loops and you can make that double connector. If you did want to use your loop tool instead of your round nose, if you have kind of maybe some problems in terms of your dexterity, or you just don't like turning loops, then your loop tool is really handy to have, and it works the same way. It just takes a lot of the effort out of it. So I'm just sliding that connector right up to this part here, and you'll see that pin, it just ever so slightly goes over this section here, which is where it's going to cut. If I was using a longer pin, I would make sure that that pin came all the way through out the hole in the other side, and that would make sure it all trimmed off. Because I'm only using the 30mm pins, it's not going to go all that way, so I'm just going to position it, and then I'm just gently squeezing the handles, and that is going to cut that tiny little bit of pin off for me, and it's going to create that loop. All I'm going to do is I am going to go in with my round nose just to make sure that loop is fully closed. So I would take my round nose pliers, give it an extra little twist, and then maybe knock it as I showed you before, just to straighten it up if need be. So whichever way you want to do, it's really straightforward. Let me see how many I've got there. 3, 4, 5, 6. I only need 2 more, so you can see how quick this make really is. Good morning to Pauline. She says, hello, little delayed coming on today. And Trish says she's sorry she's late as well. I always tell you, you never have to apologise for being late. I don't take attendance. You can come in and you can leave whenever you want. We're not an airport. You don't have to announce your arrival and departure. You're just always welcome whenever is convenient for you. And if you want to watch back later, you can catch us on YouTube or the website whenever you want. The videos are always there to watch back. I hope you're both really well and you've had a nice morning. I hope you've been enjoying the sunshine, because I'm just delighted we've actually got some. I'm going to go on a little holiday next week, so I'm not going to be with you. When I say a little holiday, I'm not going abroad, I'm not going far. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time with my husband and my son. We've got a caravan, dead exciting. He's really excited, my son. There's loads of stuff for him to do there. So even if the weather isn't great, hopefully we'll be entertained, but I'm really looking forward to it. So I will miss you next week, but I'll be back on the Monday, the 21st. And the lives will still be going ahead. I'm not irreplaceable, am I? So Kitty and Laura are going to be looking after you next week. And thank you so much to them for letting me just have a little break. You will find occasionally some of your pins might be a little bit bent it really doesn't matter. They're easy enough to straighten up. I'm not even going to use my wire straighteners. I'm just going to use my pliers and just give that a little tweak. You can see I've fully straightened that. That's just how they come sometimes from the manufacturer. So, they are still usable. The pins are nice and strong, but not impossible to kind of reshape if needed, hence why I can turn that pin really easily. Camille saying, give me a like and a thumbs up if you don't mind. Trish says, waiting for the sunshine here. Still very cloudy but warm. Camille says, we'll miss you too. And Mina says, you will definitely be missed, but family time is needed too. I don't feel like I've done anything with him this summer holiday. I don't know. I'm sure any of you parents out there have been there and know how it is, but the mum guilt's been quite strong, to be honest, like trying to get the balance of working and keeping him entertained and keeping myself sane and keeping the house tidy, which is a never-ending battle. Okay, so I've just turned my last little loop. You can see one's fitting one way and one's going the other. Doesn't matter too much, but I am just going to pop my pliers onto both ends and very gently just give it a twist into place so that they are running parallel. Joanne says, I bet you still look on the lives. Enjoy some lovely family time. Joanne, you know me well. I like to watch the other makes. I like to support each other. And I like I'm nosy. So yeah, I will probably be watching. I think the Wi-Fi is rubbish though. So what I was planning is I thought, well, even if I go away, I could still do the live. And then I looked at what the Wi-Fi was like and I thought, yeah, you know what? We have enough issues, don't we, with me being at home when the camera cuts off or goes out of sync. So I'm not gonna try. So all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just look and I'm gonna reposition my swirls so they go in the same direction. So you can see that little swirl's on the inside. And now if I give it a flip, the one next to it also is. If this really doesn't matter, I am a little bit, particular. So I do like to have the shape running the same way. But it really doesn't matter if you wanted to connect it like that. So you've got them going next to each other. It's entirely up to you. And I don't think anyone will notice, other than me anyway. I did put the bracelets together, then noticed, and then took them all apart and reassembled them. And they're really easy to reassemble. So I'm just going to connect them all together directly onto each other. I'm only going to add the jump rings at the end for the clasp. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up one and I'm going to flick the end open ever so slightly on one of those loops. I'm going to slide it into the next one and then close it back down by just turning it away. And I'm going to put it down on the mat just to check that my swirls are still running in the same direction. Next one, exactly the same, just going to give a little flick up just to open it up ever so slightly. If you can see, pick up the next one, slide that through to connect it, and then close it back down. They're just so easy to make and to use. And I think they look really, really pretty. Closing it back down. And then on with the next. So as I say, if you want to make 8-inch bracelet, I've used 8 of my lovely little connections. I don't wear an 8-inch bracelet. Well, I do, but it kind of slides around a little bit. So for me, I would probably make it a little bit smaller. But if you wanted to adjust it, you can see how easy these fit and connect together. So I could just add an extra one on or take one off with absolute, it's going to take me just seconds. Just flicking it down, moving up, opening the next one, flicking it up, attaching it on, and then closing it back over. So I'm just going to have a little look that I'm happy with my swirls and the direction that they're all facing. It does flip, so that's not a problem. If it's not quite the same, I'm just going to give it a little flip round because I've picked them up in the right order, so they should all run the same way. Oh, Sheila's responding to Angela. I don't know if I've missed a comment. Oh, I have. She says, I'm not sure how much I'll see next week as I'm having both eyes done for my cataracts. Good luck, Angela. I believe it's a very quick procedure. You might be a little bit sore afterwards. So take it easy. Make sure you're popping your drops in and just relax and don't worry. You'll be able to catch up with everything at any point when you're feeling a little bit better. Sheila's wishing you lots of love with that as well. And Mina is also saying you'll be fine. You can just listen in. Well, we do like to talk it through, don't we? So you can see and hear what's going on. Okay, so I've added all of my connectors on now. I'm just going to add on my clasp. So I'm taking 2 of my jump rings. These are 6mm and they are also rhodium. So they're going to match that antique silver swirl and toggle clasp just beautifully. To open up my jump rings, I'm using 2 pairs of pliers. So I'm going to take as much in the surface area of my pliers as I can. Let's get into shot so you can see. And I'm going to give it a little twist towards me just to open it up. I'm not opening it up by much, just a couple of millimeters. I'm trying to keep that shape being rounded when I close it again, so I'm not distorting that shape. And if I open it outwards, then that will happen. So just a little flick to open, attaching that through one of the loops on my bracelet, and then I'm going to pop my bar from my toggle clasp on. I'm then going to take my jump ring again in between the pliers, and I'm just going to turn it in the opposite direction away from me, slightly past the point where they meet, until that closes really, really lovely. And do exactly the same on the other side, only this time I'm going to add the other part of my clasp. So is it called the O? Is this like a T-bar? Is this an ogle? Is that why it's called a ogle? I don't know. I've heard that. I don't know where, and I don't know if it's true. I do tend to retain just random information and not fully. And there you go, my bracelet is done. It's ready, really easy to make. It's taken me 10 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can attach my clasp live on camera. So I'm just popping that through. That's going to hold it in place. This is too big for me, but you can see how it looks on. Really pretty, really comfortable. These will lie flat. Your bicones don't protrude too much either side, so they feel comfortable on the wrist. Hello, Charlotte. How are you doing? Susan says they only do one eye at a time, not both eyes together. I think it's varied. They used to do just one at a time. I don't know if they do both of them now. Camille says, oh, bless you. She'd put an aye comment, but it was meant for me when I put 2 beads together and they look like eyes. But she says she just noticed it came after Angela's comment and she didn't want to look rude or cause offence. I knew what you meant, Camille. I know you're a sweetheart. You'd never make fun of anybody. Charlotte says she's late. Don't you worry. Jan says, thank you, Natalie. I can't wait to get my kit and make them. Pauline's wishing you lots of love, Angela. And she's having one done on the 4th of September as well. And Joanne said her mum had hers done last year and the difference was amazing. Didn't take long to recover either. But it doesn't stop you from worrying. So she's sending you best wishes, as we all are. So they're the little bracelets. I've got a little bit of time left, so I'm going to make myself a pair of earrings. When I say I'm going to make myself a pair of earrings, I always take my samples back down to the warehouse. But if I make something else on the live, like a little pair of earrings, then I might just forget to put them back in the bag and might get to keep them. I'm going to go with the green ones. I love the colour of this green. It's like a lovely spring green. It reminds me of like a peridot colour. It's really, really pretty. For this, I'm not going to make a double connector. I think I'm just going to use the ball pin. Though you could, should I make a red and green one pair and make a double kind of hanging one? Because they'd be nice for Christmas, wouldn't they? And then I can feel a little bit smug that I've got an early make done. Camille saying make a pics. Charlotte saying she loves the blue colour. The blue colour is absolutely gorgeous. You know what? If you need to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay and watch me make myself a sneaky pair of earrings. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same, only this time I'm using the red bicone. So I'm just sliding that through. As easy as that. Going to twist that pin so I can hold it in place. Give it a little trim, but only a teeny tiny bit, using the flush side of my cutters. By that you'll see I've got one side which is kind of tapered inwards, the other side is flush. If I cut something with this side, it's going to give me that kind of tapered edge. Don't know if you can see that. If I cut it with the flush side, it's going to give me that lovely flush blunt tip. Pauline says red and green look great for earrings. Thank you, Pauline. I think so too. That's why I'm doing it. Going to give it a little twist. Turn it all the way around. Little tiny movements on my wrist. Check that they're kind of facing the right way. Going to just close that over just an extra little bit. And then I'm going to do my ones which will hang on the bottom, so it doesn't need to be a double connector. I'm going to use the peridot ones for that. So again, just lining up, trying to find that hole. I wonder whether that was why some of them I found a little more tricky to get in line. I don't think it was the size. I wonder whether the hole is slightly, you've got dead center and you've got maybe just slightly off center, and that's why. Unless it was just me, I'd made so many, I was just having maker error. So now I've got my lovely little green ones. I will show you again with the looper tool if you wanted to use that. Just slide it through so you can see there it's coming out the other end. I'm just putting a little bit of pressure, not much, but you can see I'm holding that bead up against that little part of the ball pin on the pin, just so it's all in line. Giving that little squeeze. And then just making sure that's fully closed over. And knock it back into shape. I will do the next one with the looper as well, so they're exactly the same. Through the hole, little squish, and close that over. Speaking of little squishes, that is the nickname I call my son. So if you can hear someone banging around like an elephant, he's upstairs and he's on strict instructions. He's got to be good. He's got to be quiet for mum. So, I'd like to put a little bicone in between there as well. So now I'm just going to slide them on together. So I'm attaching the green to the red by giving that pin a little flick up. So when I've used the looper, it's given me that little bit of length between the pin and the swirl. Whereas when I've been doing it by hand, I've got those swirls right close up. So that's why I did them the same. So you've got that same length and they're going to look the same. Now I'm just going to take my ear wire, and you can open up your loop on the swirl or you can open it on the ear wire, whichever you prefer. Little tiny twist open, not putting much of an opening on that. It doesn't need it, and I don't want to weaken that link. Again, I'll show you if you just want to open your swirl connector. I didn't check the pattern in which I placed these on, so they may be different on each side. Let's give them a flick around. Yeah, they are, but I actually quite like that. And there you go, I've got a little pair of earrings as well. Natalie says, Mina says, Natalie, you should get Frank to say hi. He's upstairs now. You don't want to hear me screaming his name. There is a saying, Camille. Camille says, is there a saying red and green should never be seen? Is it red and, oh no, I thought it was yellow and green should never be seen unless there's blue in between or something. I don't know. I like red and green. I think they look lovely together. Shall I put the earring in? Why not? Lucy says, very pretty, lovely make today. Iris says, have you thought about doing a monthly membership box? That would be up to Totally Beads. It's not my company. We do tend to do, well, there's the bead club. So you would get the same beads to work with, I assume, to make your project with that. And then when we come to Christmas last year, we did put a bundle together with loads of lovely things, and you could just choose which kind of colour options you wanted. And then we all had the same things, but in different kind of coloured kits. And we all got to make things together. I quite like them. This wasn't what we were making today. We're making the Larissa Swirl bracelets, but there you go. Trish says it's blue and green should never be seen except on an Irish colleen. I've never heard of that before. Mina says, love the swirl bead frame, and there's a few in a basket. Joanne says they really do look great, and I really like the silver circle part. They're gorgeous. Lucy says she thought it was blue and green as well. Susan says it's blue and green should never be seen unless with yellow in between. I don't have no clue. You do what you want to do. I think I might see if we can get some colour wheels in, because I think they're really handy to see how to match things. But you're the designer. Just have a little look and see what works for you. Really like the weight to these. Just jingling about. Right, I'm going to take you very quickly back onto the website. I'm going to stop nattering on. Today we are doing the Swirl Larissa bracelet. You can choose from green, hematite, pink, purple AB, red or sapphire blue. They are £5.99 for this week only, and there is enough materials in your kit to make 2 bracelets each. So a lovely little bargain today. I've thoroughly enjoyed being with you. I am going to miss you next week. Iris says she loves the earrings. Thank you so much. I will be back on Monday the 21st. I think I'm going to be doing a little wire project with you. I've got some gorgeous gemstones, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a pendant with a lovely little feature on the front of it with just 1 gauge of wire, 1 length of wire, no wrapping, no weaving. They're really simple, and I think they look really, really pretty. So if you're new to wire work and you want to come and give it a go, please come and join me on Monday the 21st, because I'm convinced that's what I'm doing then. Until then, I hope you all have a really, really lovely weekend and week ahead. Everybody's dropping in what they think shouldn't be seen together. And Diane, I will be thinking of you all, and I'm sure, as was it Debbie said before, I'll probably be having a little watch and seeing what's going on as well next week. So take care, everybody. See you soon.